if you got this message. It's not a coincidence. This is a channeled message and a deeply healing message for those who are open and are ready to receive it. I know that you're going through a really hard time. There's been a lot of challenges. And it seems that no matter what you get, it's never truly satisfying. It's like there's always something missing. Something just feels very disappointing. Like there's a sense of discontentment. And I want you to know that you're not alone. Every single human being feels this way to a certain extent. And this is because we are identifying with something that is not true. Let me explain to you what I mean. Many of you know that I'm suffering with fibromyalgia and many different autoimmune conditions where I've been very ill, mostly bedridden for the last year. And so I have days where I have really bad flare-ups, and during these flare-ups, I feel extreme pain all over my body, my joints, my muscles. It feels like I can't breathe. I have migraines and I'm sensitive to light and sound, and it just literally feels like I'm dying. Well, yesterday I was having a really hard time and I was crying, and so I just sat outside and I prayed as I usually do, and I asked God to help me. I just felt like I was literally in hell. And God said, He asked me, who is the one that is sick? Who is the one that is suffering? And I understand what He meant by that, because as a Course in Miracles teacher and as a spiritual teacher, I understand that there are two set of belief systems that we have, two ways of looking at the world, two ways of existing in the world. One of them is the survival-based mind, which is when you are completely identified with the personality, the self-concept that exists in the world of duality. And so that belief system usually is very much attached to lack, meaning it usually believes that there's some form of lacking money, lacking time, lacking love. Usually there's a great sense of dissatisfaction because nothing could ever satisfy it. And there's a lot of judgment and separation in this belief system. And then we have another belief system which is constructed on love. And this is much more of a heart-based belief system. This is being led by love. This is more thoughts of compassion, of grace, of mercy, of understanding. And this thought system will bring you a sense of peace because you feel a sense of wholeness, because you identify yourself as spirit or as pure energy or pure awareness, this aspect of yourself that can never be damaged or injured or harmed by anything of this world and can never truly be, because it is not of this world. It is eternal by nature. And so when you resonate with that and you begin to see yourself as spirit, as unalterable, as undamageable, as completely whole, then that will create a different experience for you, a different reality for you. And so I know that the one that is sick, or the one that is lacking, or the one that is in pain or suffering is the self-concept that exists in the realm of duality. It's the personality. And the personality is really just a set of beliefs that you've been programmed by to believe. So, for example, based on where you were born, what your parents believed in, what your religion was, what your culture is, your ethnicity, all of this will deeply impact the self-concept, as well as your experiences, your traumas, things of that nature. And so if you, for a moment, just try this with me, for a moment, remove all of the labels that make you your self-concept, your personality. So you could remove your age, your gender, your race, your political affiliations, your religious beliefs. You could remove your zodiac sign. You could remove everything that makes you you. You could remove the past, all of the past memories. You could remove yourself from the future, any future thoughts, and just feel what is left. Beingness, just pure awareness, just pure essence, beingness. You could feel that part of you that's in a complete state of peace, that isn't grasping or pushing away anything. Well, that's the truth of who you are. Because the truth is that if you take a look underneath the microscope, if you look at this under a microscope, if you look at my hand under a microscope, if you look at a pen under a microscope, you're going to see very fast moving particles, atoms. And this is energy. And we're all made up of energy. And the first law in physics is that energy cannot be created or destroyed. So that means energy never dies. So that means that you, in truth, can never die. Only your personality, your self-concept, could die and will die at some point. We all will. And so when we could recognize ourselves as pure energy that can never truly be harmed or damaged and is eternal, then we can begin to identify ourselves with the thought system that is based on love, the belief system based on love. And so when I asked God to help me, He said, who is the one that is suffering? Who is the one that is sick? And the one that is sick is the finite self. It's the self that is existing only in time and space. It's the self that at one point will die. It's the self that exists based on mental constructs of programming and conditioning. But that is not my true self, because our true self is eternal, unalterable, never changing. It's constant and certain, just like its creator. And so in that moment, it's like if I could take a breath, because I just realized, again, that's right. I'm not the one that is sick. I am not the one that is suffering. I am spirit. I am the awareness. I am the observer. I am pure consciousness. And in that moment, my pain subsided because I didn't believe what my self-concept, what my mind was telling me. And so, if you're going through something, this is the invitation. Connect to your true self and feel the peace in not identifying with the time-space mental construct that you believe you are.